Hi, my name is Michael Cook, and I'm here to discuss the Lean Sandwich Shop Dilemma in the Six Sigma Green Belt Certification course. So this is just an overview of everything that I did in trying to innovate and make this sandwich shop a little bit more lean. My system is by no means perfect, but let's get into it. So let's talk about the problem a little bit first. Most of you, in fact, everyone who views this presentation knows a little bit about the problem. So we have a location for the lean sandwich shop in a strategic value place that needs to be turned around, and 10% approximately of their sandwiches receive complaints that have to be remade. So let's define the issue a little bit as we look at some of the issues that are causing these problems. The first and foremost is going to be the quality problem of 10% of the sandwiches being returned, meaning we have rework happening in addition to or not already at capacity for meeting the customer demand. So as you can see here on the Pareto chart, we have almost 37% of defects come from cold sandwiches, come from sandwiches where they were too cold and the customer returned them. And then we have a smattering of others that are very similar: wrong dressing, spoiled toppings, wrong sandwich, human error, spoiled protein. So we'll talk a little bit about most of those and how I plan to reduce them in the future. But this is one of the big issues that we're dealing with. Another, as I mentioned, is that tack time is being missed. So we're not keeping up with demand. And in large part in the process, it's due to our protein not meeting tack time, right? So there's some changes that we'll make, and we'll go over that. In addition to those two problems, we have an employee efficiency, which is the toaster, while it's running for 145 seconds, the employees are just standing around or not doing other tasks. So this task needs to be integrated into other tasks so that we can become a little bit more efficient and lean. We also have a lead time that's over 5 days, which is a long lead time for a lot of our supplies. So I would like for that to change as well, and should be something we could address. However, due to suppliers, sometimes that's set in stone and wouldn't be an issue that we could change. So I just mention it, stating that it's something that we should look into changing if at all possible, especially if we're a large customer for this supplier. We could have some sway a little bit in when we put those orders in, when we get them. Let's talk about solutions now. So this is the risk assessment that I put together. And as you can see, the four big ones are also, for the most part, ones that are on the Pareto chart. So the sandwich is cold when it's being delivered is the largest one that we deal with. So the things that I'd like to implement as a countermeasure to this is further training on wrapping methods so that we can get it wrapped quickly after it's toasted. And then also, you'll see in the new design cell that I changed the wrapping process and added more time, and it has the most leeway in the new process. And so I think it would be prudent to have an infrared thermometer there that an employee can scan on the sandwich after they wrap it to verify that it's still at a temperature that we're happy with. So ingredients not meeting quality standards, an hourly check sheet for a manager to go through and visually and physically inspect the toppings, vegetables, and meat and protein so that they can verify that it's up to our fresh standard every single hour on the hour. It shouldn't take too long, is something that should be happening. For incorrect vegetables and toppings, so use extra time that we have in the wrapping task. So when you pull it out of the toaster oven, evaluate the toppings and look and make sure that it's what's in the order. And then also make sure that the digital screen above the topping station is clear, that the order is clear, and that everyone can see it. Is a good way to do it. As long as we're making the sandwich in the kitchen, there's going to be a disconnect, and it's not going to be as efficient as if the customer can order it real time. But as long as we're in the kitchen, those are probably some of the best ways that we can mitigate that. And then lastly, for an incorrect order placement, put a notification on the ordering system so that they can't proceed after the order is complete to accept payment until they've read the order back to the customer. And if they make changes, it'll be recorded as user error. So we can track our cashiers and how well they're doing in the process. Now let's talk about the new work cell design I mentioned. So in the new work cell design, we are changing quite a few things. We are eliminating an extra employee that task 1 had. We're combining task 1 with task 7, which is delivering the sandwich to the customer. And that's all one process, taken care of by 3 employees. Then for the second process, we're combining protein and bread to eliminate our tact time issue with protein, and also to give some leeway there in time. So the order will be passed to the kitchen. The employees will select bread and add protein. It'll go to veggies and toppings, where you'll have 3 employees doing veggies and toppings and putting it into the toaster. So that into the toaster time, I've added to the veggies and toppings task and eliminated the wait time for the toaster. So there is no wait time for the toaster anymore. After they've placed it in the toaster and it finished toasting, the last step, which is wrapping, will retrieve it from the toaster, wrap, use the infrared thermometer, hand off back to the first task, who will deliver it to the customer. So that's the new work cell design. It's pretty basic, pretty easy to flow, but quite a bit of task inefficiencies are eliminated just in these. Now we could make complete changes, and we should. And my recommendation would be to overhaul the whole system. We don't need this many employees. We can create a new system where we're making it real time in front of the customer, not in a kitchen, and really eliminate some wasted time. But this is an academic pursuit. And so staying within the process times we're giving and saying we're not going to overhaul the whole layout of the building at this point. This is some recommendations that I'm making. So here's the new work balance table. So you can see those changes. The new TPH, throughput per hour, is 6 instead of 5. So we've increased that quite a bit by eliminating 2 employees off the process. Here's the combinations, and here's the process cycle time breakdown. You can see that the process cycle time for wrapping and getting out of the toaster is only 35 seconds. It's our fastest process. Thus, they have the time to check over the toppings if anything's wrong, and then also to use the infrared thermometer to verify that our sandwiches are not cold. And if we can get that temperature consistent, then we can eliminate the vast majority of cold sandwich returns. Annual savings. Because of those returns, because of the design cell improvements, the productivity improvement in savings is $109,200. That's an annual savings just on the productivity changes to the new design cell. The scrap reduction improvement would be an annual savings of $30,576, and that's just based off of a 50% or so reduction in defects. And that's based mainly on those cold defects that we can eliminate with the thermometer almost completely, as long as we maintain that temperature is accurate. So those are the big savings we're going to make and the big changes we'll make. I wish I had more time and I could go into some of the thought process behind this, but this is the overall picture. And if this was a real presentation, this is when I would take questions, but I also would have had a longer presentation. So whoever's watching this, I hope you're having a great day, and thank you for listening.